Krishna, Tiffany Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from Texas.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, all glories to Prabhupada. And Guru Maharaj's, my humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from the
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to the assembled devotees. Yashomati from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashomati Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Please continue.
I just wanted to ask, is there anyone who would like to introduce you? Please go ahead, Mataji. Please go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. This is Vanishri from Bangalore, India. My humble pranams to you and all the assembled devotees on the call. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Vanishri Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thank you so much for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna. Are you joining for the first time, Mataji?
No, Mataji, I've been joining since I think couple of months now. Just that last 10 days, we were busy with the Brahmotsavam festivities in ISKCON Bangalore. So I couldn't join A. B is that prior to that 1 week, we were traveling to Mayapur, Kolkata and Puri Jagannath. So total of almost 21 days I couldn't join. So thanks so much for asking. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We look forward for your regular association. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Is there anyone who would like to introduce on the call? Okay, I welcome all of you once again. Thank you everyone for joining today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. Yes, today we are really fortunate to have His Grace Kamal Lochan Prabhu ji to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam from 5.21.16 onwards. Before I hand over the call to Prabhu ji, I would like to hand over the call to Tiffany Mataji to give a brief introduction on Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Mataji, over to you.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. His Grace Kamal Lochan Prabhu was born in Mysore in a Madhva Brahmin family in 1973. Prabhuji passed out of Marine Engineering Research Institute in Calcutta in 1994. It is there, in the college as a cadet, that he came in touch with the devotees of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. He found that all his unanswered questions were completely satisfied in the books of Srila Prabhupada. And as an engineering student, he studied Bhagavad Gita 5 times and mastered the Gaudiya Vaishnava Vedanta philosophy in a short period of 2 years, and was initiated into the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya by His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami. He joined the Merchant Navy as an engineering officer and worked for 3 years. During this time, he felt the urge to teach the message of the Gita to children and youth who are misguided by consumerism. So he gave up his lucrative job and joined ISKCON Mira Road, where he was promoted as the vice president within a year. He is currently the co-president of ISKCON Mira Road. He is also a visiting professor at MS University for Management and Social Work faculties. Prabhuji also conducts seminars on personality development topics in educational and corporate sectors. His only concern is that the children and youth should understand the moral and spiritual values as enunciated in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and he has dedicated his life to this cause. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for that brief introduction. So, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you're there on the call? Okay, so we will wait for Prabhuji to join. Till then, if anyone would like to introduce themselves in the call, they can go ahead now.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees on the call, and all glories to Guru Maharaj. This is Anita from Sharjah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Anita Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you Mataji for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, and all the devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Kamadiki Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you Mataji for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call and giving your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you. Hare Krishna. Please accept.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Gauranga ki jai. This is Shivani from Vaishnav Virginia. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Shivani Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you Mataji for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. This is Padmasaki Devi Dasi from Florida.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you Mataji for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvas Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj and the assembled devotees. This is Shiromani Nandarani Devidasi from Krishna Kathadesh. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Shiromani Nandarani Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you Mataji for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indulekha Karna Devi Dasi from Lincoln. Wish you all a very happy Ekadashi.
Hare Krishna Indulekha Karna Mataji, Dandavas Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you Mataji for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call and thank you so much for your wishes. Happy Ekadashi.
Vinita Mataji, did you try calling Prabhuji or? Hare Krishna, Vinita Mataji, are you there?
Mataji, did you call me?
Yes, Mataji.
I kept little volume less. That's why I was confused with whom you are calling. Yeah, Mataji, I called him. He was not answering my call. He checked he was online 6:20, but after that I gave him message. Message also is not checked. But can you join, Prabhu? We are waiting. I gave him message. So I'll call one more time and see Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. Yeah, we can chant, I think.
Yeah, we can chant. Yeah.
Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishi Shunyavadi Pashyatya Desatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Hare Krishna.
Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Hare Mama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Hare Mama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Ram Hare
Hare
Mama,
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Ram Hare
Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Mama,
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna, Krishna, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Mama,
Hare
Mama,
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Ram
Ram
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna, Ram
Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Mataji, Prabhuji is coming. There is some internet connection problem, it seems. He gave message to Shamagauri Mataji that it might or might not possible to give the class. But I requested him to join. How long he can give, he will give. After that, we can open forum for the discussion. If anybody want to have discussion, they can have. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram
Mama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama Mama, Hare
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 Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
I think Prabhuji joined. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept all of our humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji, for giving your valuable time and association in this Bhakti Sangha conference call. We are really fortunate to hear from you. You can please take over the call, Prabhuji. Today's verse is Srimad Bhagavatam 5.21.16. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devyam Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayet Nashtaprayesha Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtikim. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, chapter 21, text number 16. It's a Gadya, so I'll just read the words only. Purastat Savitu Arunaha Paschat Cha Nyukta Utye Karmani Kila Aste. Purastat Savitur Arunaha Paschat Cha Nyukta Sautye Karmani Kilasit. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Although Arunadeva sits in front of Sun God and is engaged in driving the chariot and controlling the horses, he looks backwards towards the Sun God. In the Vaya purport, in the Vaya Purana, the portion of the horses, the position of the horses is described. Saptashvarupa chandamsi Mahante Vamato Ravim Chakrapaksha Nibaddhani Chakre Vaksha Samahitaha. Although Arunadeva is in the front seat controlling the horses, he looks backwards. Thus, he looks backwards. He looks back towards the sun god from his left side. Omagyanadvirandasya jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuronmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupat Kadameham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Udabadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Saji Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Saganalita Shivishnakanvitam. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishtavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. The name of the chapter is The Movement of the Sun. Now, Sukadeva Goswami, he says that just now I spoke about the dimensions of the earth. Now, I'd like to speak to you about the sun. Now, Bhumandala is there, and then there is Bhuvar Mandala, there is Swarga Mandala, the different mandalas. And there is Antariksha. Also, there is Akasha, where all the stars are there. So, among the entire Antariksha, the sun is the most important. So, this chapter, which is dealing with sun, it is actually the most important chapter in cosmology. In Vedic cosmology, sun has the most important role because Krishna manifests his energy to this world through sun. That is why sun planet and its movement and his are very unique to such an extent. What is east? East is not fixed. You may feel that the east is fixed. Because the sun is moving, the east direction is also moving. Now, wherever the sun rises, that becomes the east. We ever heard that the sun rises in the east? No, sun doesn't rise in the east. Because the sun is rising, that direction where the sun rises becomes the east. Just imagine. Even the directions are defined by sun. Now, so much of astronomy is being described, and based on astronomy, there is astrology. So, yada mesha tulor vartate. Now, if you see the fourth verse, or fourth thing says, when the sun is in Aries, that is Mesha Rashi, and then comes to Tula Rashi, in Tula Rashi, in Mesha Rashi and Tula Rashi, the days and nights are equal. So when the sun is moving from Tato Ratrani Samani Bhavanti Yata Vrishabhadishu Panchashu Cha Ratra. So from moves into the Rishabh Rashi in science. The day goes on increasing. And now after that, when the sun goes into the next situation, that becomes the day the night starts increasing. So the increase of days and nights are described because of the movement of the sun. Now there is Uttarayana and Dakshinayana. So people in Meru, they have sun all the time because the sun is moving around a big hill or a inverted cone-shaped golden thing. There, sun is always there. Sun is midday. There is only midday there. There is no night. There is no day. There is always only day. So in this way, the whole concept of Meru is being described. It is very interesting because Meru Parvata is like a golden mountain, inverted cone golden mountain, which has like all the mandalas are like bangles around Meru. So now the sun god is sitting on a chariot. And now this chariot is very interesting. It has only one wheel, this chariot, or it is only one-sided wheel. The other is connected to Mount Meru, and he rotates around Mount Meru. And because of the rotation among Mount Meru, he's not fixed. Now, cosmology is a very interesting subject matter, and it is like this. In the childhood, we heard sun rises in the east. So sun rises in the east, but when we went to higher standard, 6th, 7th standard, we heard, no, sun is fixed and earth is going around the sun. Then we went to college, then we learned that everything is moving. So for beginners, sometimes it is spoken that sun rises in the east. Actually, we should know sun doesn't rise in the east. Wherever the sun rises, that is defined as east. Otherwise, how can it be possible that Mero, Dakshinayane, the address of Bhumandala is always Dakshina, of south of Meru? So how can always be in south of Meru? Because if the earth is moving and everywhere all the planets are moving, then Meru is fixed. Then how can the position of the earth can be always south of Meru? Because as much as the earth is moving, the sun is also moving around Meru. And wherever the sun rises, that becomes the east. So earth is actually south of Meru. So in this way, this Vedic cosmology is a very interesting subject matter. And the distances are given. You must have studied in these purports, how there are so many distances which are given. But these distances are not just the three-dimensional distances. Like for example, the carriage of sun god's chariot is estimated to be 36 lakh yojanas. Shat Trimshal Laksha. Shat Trimshal means 30 plus 6. Shat means 6. That becomes Laksha. 36 lakhs yojanayataha. Ratha nidastu. So the just imagine how huge is the whole chariot. And what is the width of it? The width is around 9 lakh yojanas. Tutiya bhage vishalatvam ravirato yatho yugo yatra asas chando namana saptaruna yojitaha. Now there are 9 lakh long, the width of the chariot. And the chariots have horses and are named after Gayatri and other Vedic meters. Why? Why this chariot? When the chariot actually of the sun god, it moves, they make a sound. The sound of the horses of sun god or Surya Deva, that is in the Gayatri Chanda. Now we should know Gayatri is not just a mantra. Gayatri is actually a chanda. Most of the 24 syllabled mantras are chanted in the Gayatri Chanda. This mantra, which we say Gayatri mantra, which is known as Brahma Gayatri, that became very famous. Since that Gayatri is chanted in the Gayatri Chanda, that became very famous as Gayatri. So Gayatri is not a mantra. It became famous as a mantra. And Gayatri is a chanda. The meter in which the sun god's horses, they travel, that is known as chanda. So this chariot continuously carries sun god. Now, who is driving the chariot? Aruna is driving the chariot. Is and pulled by horses named of Vedic Chanda, Gayatri. And these horses are named as Gayatri because when they run, they make a particular sound, and that sound is actually in the Gayatri Chanda. So this is where we have reached, and now we'll talk about the 16th verse, 16th Gadya. Now Aruna is sitting in front of, because he has to drive the chariot, so he has to sit in front. But he just doesn't sit in the front. He looks at sun god. He carries sun. From the left, he turns around and looks at sun god. Why? The reason is sun god, which is Surya, he is having a mobile university, which is 24/7. Surya has a mobile university 24/7. 24 multiplied by 7, 24 into 7 means non-stop. Like you have classes and universities which are functioning for 4 days or 5 days a week, 2 days, Saturday, Sunday, holiday. But Surya, he has a university which is mobile. Not only it is mobile, he is having a university in which 24 hours is teaching, 24 hours, non-stop. And not only Aruna, even the great sages, they learn Veda from sun god. So when they went to Surya, all the sages, Surya told, how can I stop? Then the sages told, we will walk backwards looking at you. You go on speaking Veda. You go on teaching us. Interestingly, Hanuman also learned Veda from sun god. Actually, the story which is saying that how Hanuman was hungry and went to eat the fruit which is there, it's actually sun god or Surya. That is a wrong story. Of course, some Puranas just say it was like a fruit. So Hanuman was hungry and no. Hanuman, it was Rahu. Rahu was influencing sun. He was eating the sun. It was a grahana. And Hanuman could not tolerate because he is his eternal guru. Hanuman went and then protected Rahu. So that is a story. At that time, Indra came and he thought that Hanuman is trying to eat the sun. And he threw the Vajrayuda. Then it just got hurt. People say that it's not hurt. Rather, Vajrayuda just went back. That is why it's called Hani Man. Means, in spite of Indra trying to create Hani to Hanuman, to Anjaneya, he threw the Vajrayuda on the cheeks, which is known as on the chin, is known as Hanu. Nothing happened to him. That is why his name became Hanuman. So then Hanuman, later on, he becomes a disciple of Surya. So Surya taught Hanuman, and along with all the other sages, he constantly speaking Veda. So this is a very special university run by sun god Surya. We all know Surya is also known as the first student of Bhagavad Gita. Imam vivasvate yogam proktavan aham avyam vivasvan manve braha manurikshvake bravit. The Sun dynasty became very glorious because appearance of Lord Ramachandra. Not only Sun God is a very interesting personality, he is also uh, the father of Yama and Yami, Yamuna. Yamuna is Bhanuputri, Bhanuputriya. Now, Yamuna is Patrani of Krishna and is also the father-in-law. Sun God becomes the father-in-law of Krishna. So very a great personality with all wisdom and knowledge. Of course, when he is influencing a particular Rashi, then depending on the Rashi, wherever the sun god is there, that Rashi becomes very powerful. Surya, wherever is there in a particular Rashi, that becomes very powerful. So I don't want to talk about the astrology aspect of Surya. If you see from the astrology aspect of Surya, he is considered to be evil planet, along with Rahu, Ketu, Shani, Mangal, and then Surya. These five are evil planets. And why is he evil? Because of Surya always wants to strive, and anybody who has got Surya in some rashis, they all want to become leaders. They want to become occupy the post, want to command. So we'll not talk about that part of it, the astrology part of it. Let us talk about a story which happened when one Rishi cursed a lady that you will become a widow. He cursed for her benefit because there's one very chaste lady whose husband was he actually paralyzed practically, and he had a lot of pus and all these things. But still, he had a desire that he told his wife, I want to associate with the prostitute. Take me to the prostitute. Just see how horrible. He's old. He cannot even walk also. So she carried, because wife's duty is to satisfy the desire of husband. So she caught hold of him, put him in a basket, and she was carrying in the basket. On the way, Rishi saw this and understood what's happening here, and then felt pity on this chaste lady and cursed. By the time tomorrow the sun rises, you will die because you're such a useless husband, such a pious lady, chaste lady. How are you troubling her like this? And now hearing the curse, that lady thought, oh, if my husband dies, I'll be a vidava. Now she told, I cannot curse the rishi back, but I want my husband to be alive. So she, with her powers, the sun will not rise only tomorrow. By her power of the chastity, she could stop the movement of the sun. Only Krishna can do that. Because Yasyagnya Brahmati Sambrata Kala Chakro. On the order of Krishna, the sun is moving the wheel of time. Kala Chakra is being moved by time. But this chaste lady, she was so powerful that she stopped the movement of the sun. When she stopped the movement of the sun, then whole world became paralyzed practically, because every movement which is happening in this world is because sun is moving. And because the movement of the sun, all the movements in this world is happening. Hmm. And all the sounds which are happening because of Saraswati is playing Veena, and that is why all the movement, of course, the Lord of movement is air, but even the air God is inspired by sun, Surya. If you see from the Sankhya point of view, movements are because of air. We are able to move a hand and all. But even the inspiration of movement comes from sun, energy. So practically the whole world became standstill. Now at the time, a person who's mentioned here, known as Aruna, he is of sun god. There is a small story. Very interesting story. Of course, this story gives a very interesting instruction or lesson. So Aruna, he told sun god, what is this? The sun god told, this is what has happened, and I cannot move now. Then Aruna told, I am tired of driving your chariot since 7. Now I got some rest. I just want to go somewhere and then take rest and come back. Aruna had a desire to go to Indraloka. He had a desire to go to Indra's planet because he heard a lot about Indra and the people in heaven. They're so beautiful. Their apsaras are there. Dance goes on and all. So Aruna, he just told, I'll just come back. I said, okay, you go. So he went to Indra Loka, Swarga. He was about to enter, and the doorkeeper stopped him and told, you cannot enter. Then he saw the doorkeepers are stopping the men and asking who you are. But the woman who was so beautiful, they're apsaras, they're just walking, nobody's bothering them. So Aruna took the form of Aruni. He became a she. He became a woman. And she was so beautiful. Just imagine somebody who was with Surya, Arunodaya, when the sun is not at risen, but is about to rise in the morning, is known as Arunodaya. Means Aruna appears. Beautiful. And Aruni was so enchanting, so effulgent that nobody bothered to stop her. She entered inside. And there, Aruni, now Sad Swarga, it was so beautiful. Everywhere, the very beautiful, nice, wonderful people, and very beautiful woman. And the belly dance, the starts of the Indra Sabha. And all of a sudden, Indra sees, hey, who is this new woman here? Immediately he comes down the Singhasan, catches hold of this Aruni, and then takes her. And he says, oh, I am very much enchanted by you. I want to impregnate you. Then this Aruna says, no, I am not a woman. I am Aruna. Then Indra says, I don't know who you are. You are so beautiful. All these apsaras are useless. So what happened? Indra impregnated Aruni. And what to do? He came out. She came out actually. Delivered a son. So then that becomes Vali. Vali in this way becomes the son of Indra. Now coming back to this place here, Surya, he came back. He was so frustrated. Now he came back to the original form of Aruna and then came to Surya. By the time Brahma had arranged the whole situation, that he told, don't worry, your husband will not die. And Yama also went and told her. So then she released the curse and sun had to move. So Aruna came and told the sun, Surya, and oh Surya, now I'm ready. But he was very much gasping, breathing very heavily. Surya asked him, what happened to you? I don't want to narrate the story. I'm now. It's a nightmare for me. He told, you went to where? Where did you go? Then Aruna had to tell the story. That I went there, I became Aruni, and Indra caught hold of me. And now the whole point is I am a man and just took the form of a woman and I got his son. What to do if impregnation was done? Then Surya told Aruna, can I also see the farm? What you showed to Indra? He told, no. I'm one time I took the form of Aruni. It's enough now. I don't want. Then Surya told, no, I am the Lord of yours. You are the charity, you're my driver. You just have to follow my orders. Then Aruna, he took the form of Aruni. Then Surya was so enchanted by seeing this, the beautiful form of Aruna became Aruni. He became so lusty. And then again, he impregnated Aruni. And a son was born. And he became Sugriva. So Vali and Sugriva's birth happened because of this. Now you may say, Prabhuji, why are you talking this story? It's an obnoxious story. Purana say that why this story is I'm speaking in the Purana say, because anybody listens this story becomes disgusted of material enjoyment. And just by hearing the name of heaven, they spit at it. The whole idea of going to heaven, which is the purpose of karma kanda, uh, uh, will be smashed in the consciousness of the people who have heard the story, because in heaven, though everything is so wonderful, but still it is so obnoxious. It is obnoxiously wonderful. Like somebody may get enamored by the effulgent things of the cities in Mumbai, in Delhi, in America. Oh, but it is not obnoxious. It's totally obnoxious. Because though it is wonderful, but it's obnoxious. What is use? Like you have a toilet and you have golden toilet, golden sink. And though it's golden, dog, toilet is toilet, isn't it? You're not attracted to that, though it's golden. What is the use? It's toilet. So that's how this swarga, or even those places of enjoyment in this world, though they are very glittering, very wonderful to look at, but it's obnoxious, because the stool of material enjoyment is there, and there's no rules and regulations when it comes to material enjoyment. So Surya and Aruni in this pastime, Krishna actually made this pastime happen through Surya and Aruna, and then showed to the entire world that how those who are interested in knowledge, they are supposed to be worshipping Surya and walking backwards and constantly looking at him. So when you look at Surya, then there's no night, there's no darkness, and you can learn 24 hours a day. So this is a speciality of sun god and Aruna. And now the movement of sun, Shishumara chakra, which is there, of course, like a dolphin, all these things come. It's very difficult to comprehend how these movements happen. But still, for us, we should know this cosmology is a subject matter, not to understand, but to study, to understand that we cannot understand. Sometimes people say why this cosmology is described. It is only described so that you try your best to understand, and ultimately you understand that you cannot understand. And that is a perfect understanding of cosmology, is that you surrender to Krishna. Just to build one house, one temple we are building. It's a small temple, not but 35,000 square feet temple in just a small area, and few rooms. We have hundreds of drawings. There are architectural drawings, there are RCC drawings, there are plumbing drawings, electrical drawings, and different views, the top view, the side view, the elevation, just about 30,000 square feet. Now just imagine how many drawings are required to present what exactly is the entire structure of the universe. And the structure of the universe is multidimensional, it's not just three-dimensional. So it is very difficult to really comprehend what exactly they mean. So by this particular chapter which is described here, we just have to surrender to Krishna, surrender to the glorious manifestation of material energy of Krishna. And somebody may say, why at all we should do that? Because there are only two ways of knowing Krishna. One way to know Krishna is to, yeah, you're able to hear.
Yes, Prabhuji.
One way to know Krishna is through his spiritual energy, that is the soul. And other way to understand Krishna is through his material energy, that is Prakriti. Prakriti and Purusha. That is the whole subject matter of Sankhya. Prakriti, Purusha. Prakriti means material nature, the cosmology. And the soul is subtle. It is so small. It is micrology. So your cosmology and micrology. That is these are the two areas where the scientists are completely bewildered. So if you sit in a rocket, in my childhood, I used to always wonder. Maybe generally we used to sleep in the terrace, not in bedroom and all. In small towns, village, just put a chatai and then just sleep and look at the sky. And I used to wonder if I get a rocket in which I can sit and go high and high and high. Where will I reach? Will I be able to reach the end of the universe where there must be somewhere the shell of the universe or something like that? Okay, if I reach that place, and what is beyond that? Where does it end? It's all my question, my childhood until today. A very appropriate or a very interesting thought that what's there high? What is the limit? He says sky is the limit. That means unlimited, infinite. So this is one. Other one is micrology. If you go, what is the smallest to the smaller? Example, you have a small, you have small grain. You cut. Again, into two pieces. Take the other piece and cut. Again, go on cutting. What is the smallest? Anu, smallest. So Krishna is being defined in the Upanishads as Anoraniyam to Mahiyam. Anoraniyam. He is the smallest of the smallest. Mahato Mahiyam. He is the biggest of the biggest. So these are the two areas where we are totally bewildered. And these are the two areas, actually Krishna. He is the smallest of the smallest. And he is the biggest of the biggest. So in this world, Krishna's spiritual energy, the spark of Krishna's spiritual energy is the soul. So study of the soul, what is its nature? Understanding the nature of the soul, you understand Krishna. And understanding the biggest of the biggest, the greatest of the greatest is Prakriti. That means cosmology. So by trying to understand cosmology, studying these subject matters, then you understand the greatness of Krishna. So these are the only two ways by which you can understand Krishna, because these are the two energies of Krishna. Soul, which is the Parashakti, and the cosmology, which is known as Aparashakti. Like Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhumirāpanalo vayurkham mano buddhirevacha ahankaramiti me bhinna prakritirashtada apare. This is apara, iyam, apareyam, tastvanyam. Prakritim viddhi me param. There is Parashakti. Beyond this Aparashakti, which is Prakriti, and there is another Prakriti, another energy of Krishna, which is viddhi me param. That is Parashakti. Para, apara. So Parashakti, Aparashakti. Even matter, which is Aparashakti, which is being described here. If you study matter very nicely from the Vedic point of view, you can understand the greatness of Krishna, the vibhuti of Krishna. This world is nothing but a vibhuti of Krishna, which is energy of Krishna. That is why Yad vibhuti vat sattam srimaturjitam eva tattat evabhigachattam mama tejom susambhavam. Krishna says, whatever vibhuti you are seeing this world, the splendor of this world, the sun, which is nothing but my vibhuti. The sun is vibhuti of Krishna. The moon is another vibhuti of Krishna. And they both become the eyes of Krishna. And eyes of Veda Purusha is the Jyotish Shastra. Sun and moon, the movement of sun and moon becomes Jyotish. Jyotish means light. Under the light, you can read, you can do different activities. So different activities we have to do, if you have to do, we have to take guidance of Jyotish. And in Jyotish, the luminaries are the sun and the moon. And these two are the eyes of Krishna. And not only just these two are the eyes of Krishna. The sun gives scorching heat and light, but the moon gives the cooling light. So this is how Krishna is being, another name of Krishna is Virupaksha, means whose eyes are having contradictory qualities. So what are the contradictory qualities which Krishna has in two eyes? One is scorching heat and the light by the sun, and the moon, cool rays which are emanating from moon. So these two shows anugraha and nigraha. Nigraha and anugraha. Sun nigraha means to give punishment. Exactly, other moon gives compassion. That is anugraha. So Krishna does both. Nigraha through sun, anugraha through moon. So he rules the world through the sun. How? Time. Sun comes in the time department. You have Lord Shiva, your sun, your Surya, and Yama. They are in the different hierarchies in the time department. That is why it is said, Ayurharati Vaipumsan Udhyannastam Channaso Tasyarte Kshanonita Uttama Shloka Vartaya. Ayurharati Vaipumsan Udhyannastam Channaso. The sun rises in the east, sets in the west. By doing so, one day is gone from our life. That means we have been driven towards Ayurharati Vaipumsan Udhyannastam Channaso. One day gone. But those who are engaged in learning Vedic literatures, hearing and glorifying Krishna, the sun becomes very merciful unto those people and gives them knowledge. Uh, and he gives them not only just spiritual knowledge, but also he gives material knowledge. Among the different kinds of material knowledge, the topmost is uha. Uha means anticipation. To know what's going on in the mind of people. So those who have sun planet in their chart, which is very powerful, they are very good anticipators. I don't know how to translate this word, uha shakti, into English. The closest word I can see is anticipation. Anticipation is also only one part of uha. Uha is a very interesting word in Sanskrit as well as many local languages. It is not just imagination. It is not just anticipation. It is something which is very subtle, uh, which is beyond any normal understanding of. There are some people who just come to know certain things, and how they come to know, we don't know, and that is because of Surya. You may be sitting at one place and you're able to understand what's going on others' mind, what's going on in your son's mind or daughter's mind, and that's true actually. You can conclude that. You don't have to look just by that. That's a very special knowledge which is given by, and it is material knowledge, of course, at the same time spiritual knowledge. And because of meditating on the sun, one can come out of depression. That is why there is Surya Namaskar. Anybody who does Surya Namaskar comes out of depression. Surya. Of course, so many things can be talked about. Surya, sun god. Mm, Many Surya temples are there. Shaura Agama. There are 5 agamas. One of the agamas, which are known as Sauragamas, talks about worshipping sun god. These people who are in Saurashtra, Gujarat. You say Gujarat, Gujarat is made up of different sections, 3 different sections. There's one section called Saurashtra. So they were originally worshippers of sun, all the way from Saurashtra to Iran. The area people were practicing Shaura Dharma, Shaura Agamas, one of the 5 Agamas is Shaura Agama. So we have a nice verse in the Brahma Samhita, which actually talks about this Surya, who is Echakshuresha Savita Sakalagrahanam Raja, he's a king. So generally, who is very much favored by Surya, they become in charge of a particular department, or they become very powerful influencers, great influence they can have on people. So because he's a Raja, Sakalagrahanam Raja, Yasya Ichakshuresha Savita Sakalagrahanam Raja, Samasta Suramurti Ashesha Teja. He's having Ashesha Teja, unlimited Teja. And where does he get the Teja from? He gets from one ray of Sudarshan. Krishna has a weapon called Sudarshan. And from that one ray is taken by Surya. And then he is shining in the world. He shines the entire world, gives energy to the entire world. Just imagine how powerful is Sudarshan. Sudarshan is the Lord of Surya, the original sun for the sun. For us, sun is sun. For the sun, who is the sun? Is Sudarshan. So the Sudarshan is a very powerful planet. Sun is a very powerful planet, and all the powers he takes from Sudarshan. Echakshuresha Vitasakalagrahanam Raja Samasta Suramurti Rashesha Teja. Where did he get the Teja from? Sudarshan. Shesha Teja. Yasyagnya Brahmati Samrita Kala Chakro. Yasyagnya. By whose Agnya? Samrita Kala Chakro. By Krishna's instruction. Sun is rotating the wheel of time. Brahmati Samrita Kala Chakro. And such Govinda, whose order sun is rotating the wheel of time, I pay my obeisances. So this is all about what I can speak about Sun and Aruna. We stop here. Any questions, please do ask.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for this very beautiful flash, a very nice story of Arunodaya. Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much. I have one, there is one question from in the chat. I will read that. Yeah. Valli Mataji is asking, what is the name of that Pativrata Prabhuji?
I do see, I don't know. There's one story, names I am very poor in remembering. That story is there. Maybe somebody can do some research. I also try to do some research and send you.
Okay.
So the story is there. Yeah.
And there is another question. I heard that Aruna doesn't have legs. He is the elder brother of Garuda. Is it right?
Which one?
I heard that Aruna doesn't have legs. He is the elder brother of Garuda.
Who?
Aruna doesn't have legs. He is the elder brother of Garuda. Is this right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. And next I request Anuradha Mataji, you can go ahead with your question.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class. Prabhuji, I have two questions, Prabhu. One thing is that we keep getting confused that, at least for myself, that there is Surya Devta and there is Surya Narayan. Are there two personalities or one personality? Because sometimes from Srila Prabhupada's purport, it looks like one and then again it looks like two. So how many personalities are there, Prabhu?
I do not want to get into the subject because then we have to explain the entire Gayatri. Externally, Gayatri is addressed to Surya, but actually it's not addressed to Surya, it's addressed to Surya Narayana. Om Bhuva Swaha Tat Savitur. So externally it seems Surya, but actually worshipping Krishna through Surya, because Krishna is there in the heart of Surya, Surya Narayana. Surya Narayana is the Paramatma of Surya. Is the Paramatma who is in the heart of Surya is Surya Narayana. The Paramatma in the heart of Ganesha is known as Vishwambhara. But the demigods, the Lord who is there in the heart of the demigods, he has a specific name. And the Vaishnava way of worshipping the demigods is to worship Krishna who is in the heart of the demigod. And they worship, like when we say Mahaganapati, Shuklam, Bharatanam, Vishtum, Shashivaranam, Chaturpujam, Prasannavadanam, Jayet, Sarvignopashantaye. So who is that white color Krishna? White color Vishnu? He is Vishwambara Ganapati, is Mahaganapati. Vignopashantaye, all the Vignas are gone. So there is a particular sect of Vaishnavas who worship Krishna in the Vedic methodology, Vaikana Sagamas. When you say Veda means demigods. So how do you worship Krishna if you are to, they are externally worshipping the demigods, but actually they are not worshipping the demigods. They are worshipping the Lord who is as Paramatma in the demigods. And in the heart of the Paramatma in the demigod's heart has a specific name. So Surya is actually Krishna's name. And Narayana is the one who is there in the heart of Surya, the demigod Surya. That is why we worship Surya Narayana.
Thank you, Prabhu. Makes sense. I have one more question, Prabhu. Like you say that Hanuman story when he was eating the fruit. This we hear even in Hanuman Chalisa, right, Prabhu? So when you said this is not a correct story, how do we know this is not a correct story and whatever other stories are being told are correct, Prabhu? Because it is there in Hanuman Chalisa. We have been hearing since childhood. So would you please show some light on that, Prabhu?
See, Hanuman Chalisa, as it appeared in the mind of Hanuman Chalisa is written by whom? It is written by Ramacharita written by
Tulsidas,
great saint Tulsidas.
Tulsidas, yeah.
So Manas means as it appeared to him. So he wrote it as a kavya. So sometimes in kavya, they glorify a personality or a story in a way that it is attractive to everyone. So even there, the understanding is for Hanuman, sun was like a fruit. Sun was like a fruit. That means he was so powerful that he could do that. But actually, do you think Hanuman would go and eat another Vaishnava? No. If you talk about Hanuman's power, then for him, sun was like a fruit. If you want to talk about Hanuman's compassion, that he could not tolerate Vaishnava being influenced by an evil planet. So that is why we fast, we do chanting during Chandragrahan and Surya Grahan, because Chandra and Surya, rise of Krishna, and Rahu or Ketu are evil planets and they are troubling a Vaishnava. So we pray to Krishna to relieve our Vaishnava from trouble. So that is why it is not right or wrong. It is what aspect is being spoken by a particular kavi. So that's the thing. Definitely, when the Puranas talk about it, they say he was looking like a fruit for Hanuman. But actually, the Grahan happened there. And that is why for Rahu, Ketu, Dosha, Shani, Dosha, there is worship of Hanuman recommended. Because he destroys the influence of bad influence of them. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu, because there are so many stories go around it. Like, he was hungry, he was asking his mother. Mother said, I don't have anything. Then he turned around, looked at son and looked like a fruit. So it's like we tell in ISKCON, we are always saying that read the Shastras and then, follow accordingly. And then if we are ourselves also making up stories and telling our kids, so we are following the same thing, following the blind, like, what I'm saying, Prabhu. So I just wanted to confirm before we pass on the stories to others. So thank you so much, Prabhu, for your enlightening us and your class, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
I don't know how this internet became okay. Yesterday I was giving a class and nobody could understand. So I actually cancelled this class. Okay, anyhow. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for this wonderful class. Thank you, Mataji, for that interesting question also. So I don't see any other hand raise or questions, Prabhuji. So
yeah, I do have a question though.
please.
Thank you. I'm sorry, you probably answered these questions already, but I don't know the translation for this word agama. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, it looks like Prabhuji has left the call.
Yes, Mataji. I think Prabhuji.
Okay, yeah, no problem. We can end if nobody else has questions.
I also had a question, but yeah, we'll end. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji, please take over.
Thank you so much. Prabhuji is not there, but it will pay our business. Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripasindhubhyevacha patitanam
Patitanam Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Bhagavatam ki Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai.
Oh, actually, if anybody else knows the answer to that question, what is agama, they can say also. Does anybody know what agama means?
Related to what, Mataji? Sorry, related to what? What is the context? I mean, Sanskrit word has so many meanings, Mataji. So,
well, Prabhu was used that word repeatedly in this class. That's why I was wondering.
Agama also means coming, Mataji, but I don't know if Prabhu.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we'll do research and get back to you.
Yeah. Maybe if I listen to the class, I can get the content.
Yes.
Yeah, he said he used the word so often. That's why I was wondering. Okay.
Gail, you have allergies, huh?
Hare Krishna
Oh,
Mataji. One thing I know is like